Hi, I'm Elliot Hawk, creative producer here at the New York Faith and Freedom Coalition. In this video series, we tackle current events, topics, and hot-button issues of the day, all with the purpose of inspiring the body of Christ to be strong and courageous, to take action, and to speak truth to power in the political arena. Today we're going to discuss the separation of church and state. This phrase has been the victim of a long-running game of telephone. It was once used by Thomas Jefferson in context to provide an example and explanation of how the First Amendment works. Unfortunately, in our modern age, the phrase is used by those who simply don't believe in God and would like to bully or silence the church into believing that we don't have a voice in politics. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So let's break down the phrase and define some of the words. What is the church? The church, in its most general definition, is an establishment of organized religion. It is a group of individuals who come together in unison to freely express their faith and to exercise their morality. What is the state? The state is, by all intents and purposes, the government. It is the very definition of the executive, legislative, and judicial powers that lay down the law of the land. Today, the church is continually staying silent on divisive issues out of fear of being too political. Church leaders and pastors are often afraid to offend their congregation, and yet, at the same time, we see corrupt politicians use the name of God as though it were going out of style, as a bookend to some of their speeches in a sly attempt at winning the church vote. So, if there truly was a separation of church and state, why is it that these two ideas seem so inseparable? The idea that the church and state should not be commingled is something that is grossly misunderstood by many on both the right and the left side of the political aisles. And no, this does not mean I'm advocating for a theocratic government. In fact, that is the very thing the First Amendment is prohibiting. It says, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof." You see, our founders had just finished fighting off a tyrannical king, propped up by a single religion that was backed up by the state. They understood that for our new democratic republic to work, we could not allow any laws to establish one federally recognized or government-mandated religion. Otherwise, we'd be doomed to repeat the same mistakes. Now, with that said, there is not one single instance in our US Constitution that says that the church cannot be involved with government. The Christian faith played a major role in the development of our US Constitution. Some of the most iconic, progressive, and revolutionary ideas that have helped create our great nation came from Judeo-Christian beliefs. The separation of powers, the three branches of government, and even the core principles behind our country being a republic. It all comes from the Bible. But it would be incorrect to say that all of our founding fathers believed in the same thing and practiced the same religion, because that certainly was not the case. However, they truly did understand that goodness and morality do not come from man, but by God. Ben Franklin, a non-Christian, famously addressed the entire Constitutional Convention in 1787 with an appeal for prayer to consider God during their deliberations. The Founding Fathers understood the Bible intimately. Without their reverence for God governing in the affairs of men, we might not have made it as a nation. The separation of church and state is a myth that has been used to bully the church into thinking that we don't have a voice in political discourse. And unfortunately, we can see where this lie has taken us as a nation and here in the state of New York. John Adams said, "Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." Now, that doesn't mean that there's no room for growth, new ideas, and innovation. However, we cannot ignore the fact that when left to its own devices, the government will rule immorally. That is why we, the people of the United States of America, and yes, that means the church too, the entire body of Christ, we must stand up in truth and love to speak out and fight against anything that seeks to destroy our one nation under God. You can make a difference. I want to encourage you to sign up on our website at NYFaithandFreedom.com, and you can become a member of the New York Faith and Freedom Coalition. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram so you can keep up to date with all of our latest news and informative content. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.